Yo, yo, yo. What's cracking?
What's going on? Welcome back, Lionel. Welcome back.
Hi,
Thanks
hi,
for
my
having me.
my
Thanks
twin
for
brother
having me,
Robert.
Yeah, did y'all coordinate fashion? Okay, nice.
But you wear it so much better than me. I thought I would try to.
I wouldn't say that, even
I
if
would-
I thought it.
I thought I would just try to, match your fly.
Oh, is that? Even if I thought it,
Yeah.
I
We
wouldn't.
want,
I wouldn't. I
we want
wouldn't.
everybody to know Robert and I were reprimanded by the producers for last week's show and our unruly behavior. So tonight we're going to be on our best behavior.
Oh,
And
well,
also,
you already misbehaving because you lying.
I
You
don't like
already
your attitude. See,
misbehaving.
Sean, I already don't like your attitude. We only like 2 minutes into the show, and you already
See?
tripping. Mel
was
couldn't be with
already-
us tonight because he's undergoing a personality transplant. We're hoping he can stay awake for the whole show next week. We get him back. We're gonna pray and touch and agree that he's gonna stay awake for the whole show.
Touch
Oh,
and agree.
yeah. Well, I wouldn't. I wouldn't count. Hope you using Monopoly money. I wouldn't gamble on that at all.
Hey, you know what February means, Rob? It means we're one little week sign away from Aries season.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
I think
true.
it's like the fish people or whatever, whoever they are. Doesn't really matter because we know what happens in March.
what?
That's right.
Aries season.
What happens in March?
And then we carried over into April.
And that's right. Because, you know
I'm
it, baby.
sorry I seem so discombobulated, but some of y'all know
Well,
my phone crashed on me last weekend.
well,
And you really don't realize, man, how screwed up you are when I lost all my contacts. I was able to save all my pictures and videos, so the porn was safe. That was a joke.
When you didn't have numbers, I started to mess with you and text you and be like, "You remember me?" You said I was so beautiful.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't have gone the way you wanted.
I know it probably wouldn't have ended well like I thought it would. But
or you could have asked, "Hey, are you gonna finally buy me that drink?"
I know, really.
Wow, Robert. Okay. Lionel, why do I feel like I just saw you? And I know that's not true. I feel like I just saw you somewhere.
I don't know. You were recently in South Florida?
When's the last time you were in Chicago?
I've never been.
You've never been in Chicago?
No.
Dude. Wow. I think there's another guest that we've had on that kind of reminds me of Lionel. His name begins with a D, Glenn. You know what I'm talking about? Kind of a tall, chocolate, bald, good-looking brother. Because now I realize where it was that I thought I saw you. It was at Victor Love's birthday party. You like, I don't even know no damn.
Yeah, even know Big Love.
Hey man, we didn't get a chance to talk about a particular thing last week because I was doing such an awful job of hosting, according to you all.
Well,
I've been sworn to secrecy because I don't need to get suspended. That's in my contract. If I get suspended, it cuts my pay. So I can't say nothing about last week's show. I can neither confirm nor deny your job.
Robert, even if I was, what is it like? 200 episodes to 2?
Yeah, that's right.
With me and you, so
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Law averages
but tonight was going to be 3 if you hadn't made it here.
Robert put the hat on.
He is with his hat on and his white long sleeve tee. He feeling himself.
I was ready.
Hey man, y'all know I always want to try to. Yeah, I'm drinking. I always want to try to explore a different angle with stuff sometime, but we didn't get a chance to talk about, man, the tragedy with Tyree Nichols last week. So I'd love for us to share about that a bit, man. I haven't watched the video. I don't have any intention of watching the video. People are so aggressive about posting it that I've almost accidentally seen it. You know what I'm saying? You're moving around and next thing you know, somebody who thinks it's okay to post it has posted it, and you're like, oh, I'm not trying to see that. But I will say somebody that did see it, man, felt the need to describe it to me almost from the beginning to the end, and just the description had me feeling some kind of way. And
Yeah.
I mean, I was anxious, and and I got a relative, man, who left the Memphis Police Department in 2017. So I jumped on and reached out to him, and he said those guys all came on after him, so he didn't know, it didn't know any of them, man. But I mean, did it give you guys any anxiety? What did you ultimately feel about it? Was it par for the course? Did you discover that, some of the desensitization that we experience because things like this are kind of common? Did any of that kick in? Lionel, I'm gonna start with you, man, since we haven't had the honor of having you on in such a while. But
Oh yeah, thanks for having me back. Yeah, when I heard about it, I was taken back. I assumed the officers weren't brothers, and I kind of expected it to be just that. But when I saw the photos of the police officers, that is what kind of gave me the biggest shock. Just like you, I didn't watch the video. I heard about it, and some of the descriptions was traumatizing. When I heard he called out for his mom.
yeah,
Yeah,
some of the last they said some of the last things among the last things that he said was, calling for his mom, and that's, I mean, for a man, for that to be some of your last words, he had to have been experiencing some desperation, Um, but yeah, anything else, man, that it made you feel or think or
I'm still processing it, to be honest. I just refuse to watch the video until I'm in a after winter, because usually winter is like I'm just trying
yeah,
to, yeah, get above the weather.
yeah. I
Yeah.
heard somebody say something interesting that the only people that should watch it are non people of color that have sons, so they can understand what they don't have to worry about.
Mm, yeah.
Uh, Robert, where did it leave you? Did you have, anything particular on your mind about it?
No, I didn't watch it. Everyone was really talking about, and of course, a lot of therapists were talking about don't watch it.
Yeah,
And
yeah. There's
you know,
something called linked fate,
yeah,
from what I understand, that
mhm,
we experience when basically we see our likeness
yeah,
being done like that. So
and it creates we relive everything all over again, right? And so the reliving piece of it was, and then we start for me, um, not trusting cops, getting, there's this anxiety that built up before. And, so whenever I'm driving, and it's funny that I'm even thinking about this. I was on 290 coming back, I think it was, coming west, and there was a police car behind me, right? And, I'm doing 65 or so, and the police car was right behind me. So it started making me think, okay, are they going to pull me over for going 5 miles or 10 miles over the speed limit? And so it's that kind of anxiety, and for me, I started thinking about where's my insurance card? Where's my information at? That's the kind of
Mm,
anxiety that I experience.
my gosh, yeah.
And we really don't want, we really don't want to not trust the policeman.
I've always experienced anxiety though,
Hmm.
with the police. Maybe because those episodes started early.
Hmm.
For me, I remember being harassed downtown by the police um, when I was 14 to 15 years old. So
Hmm.
um, I don't think I don't think there'll ever be a time when I don't get nervous when they're behind me, lights on or not. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just a weird kind of thing. And I'll share this before I hear from you, Glenn. I've been dealing with something with my car, and in Chicago, Lionel, we have these stickers that we have to purchase for our car. We have to buy a city sticker that goes on the front. We have to buy license plate stickers for the back for the license plate. It's really just a money grab. I don't care what anybody says. It's just Chicago in your pocket. But the way they have it now is if your car doesn't pass the emissions test, you can't buy the license plate sticker. And so I have an evap sensor that was bad on my car. And so I had to schedule taking it to the mechanic to get the evap sensor repaired. But until I get the evap sensor repaired, I can't buy the sticker. So pretty much every time I get in the car, I'm getting stopped, and I'm having to explain to the police officers I got stickers and receipts and everything, that prove I'm trying to get it fixed. But because of the climate we're in, man, every time I get hit with those lights, I usually make a phone call. I have somebody on the phone listening. One of my buddies that's a cop, I was on with him one time, him telling me, say this, don't say that. The culture of it, man, is so embedded, I think, in the minds of Black men that are committed to going home. You have some that are not as committed to going home and feel the need to push back. And I think you have to make a decision on whether, pushing back is worth you not making it home to your family or not. And for me, I'll take the L to get back home to the people that care about me. But Glenn, what did it leave you with?
Yeah, and I tried to avoid watching it. I was on a plane. I don't remember, but CNN had it and they were showing it. So I saw bits and pieces of it, but it wasn't anything that I actively watched. And growing up in that area, being from there,
Right.
I'm not surprised. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. Not even surprised that it was Black cops. To be
Yeah.
quite
Yeah.
That didn't even surprise me. And it's like I don't want to become desensitized to the violence against men, but it's been so much.
Or women. Remember Sandra Bland?
Yeah, or women, Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, all of that. It's just you've become desensitized to it almost. You're like, okay, we're gonna go through, 3 or 4 months of, we need to look at this and we need to reform the police and we need to pay attention to this, and then it all goes away. And nothing happens, or you wait on the inevitable, somebody blaming the victim for what happened. And Jason Whitlock couldn't wait to blame everybody, including single mothers. He made a comment.
Yeah, I have his name written down to discuss.
Yeah, I'm just, as I said before, he's a whore to the media, to Fox, and sometimes you just got to let a hoe be a hoe, and that's what he's doing. He's pulling himself out, making comments like that, because I'm like, I don't know how that became an indictment of every single mother.
Right.
This man basically losing his life on video,
right?
Not being administered aid,
right.
Like what is it? 6 people have lost their jobs because of this death.
Yeah.
4 of them have been indicted have been convicted of murder.
Before I throw this monkey in the wrench, no pun intended. What did you think about how long it took them to arrest the 6th officer?
Did they finally arrest him?
Well, I don't know if they arrested him. They indicted him at least. I think they he's been charged. Now, I had heard enough about the video that there were some white hands in there.
He tased him. He was the one that tased him.
Yeah, so you knew that somebody white had at least enabled it. What do you think about the fact that they were? Because I got a lot of police friends, man, and one thing I've learned the hard way is that I stopped talking police stuff with police friends. And even the times when I think I'm going to be able to have an objective conversation, I'm usually gravely disappointed. But a lot of my police friends, of course, their first instinct was to talk about how quickly the Black police officers were arrested. And I'm like, that's kind of really not the story, but that's kind of the culture of what happens sometimes. But did you think that did you think they were still figuring out his role, or did you feel like, he was?
I think they're still figuring it out. He was relieved of duty, but he hasn't been convicted yet or anything.
So you don't think that the delay in him losing his job had to do with the fact that he was white as much as them still trying to figure out what his role was?
I honestly don't know, because it looks like the police report was falsified, which should be a crime because that happens a lot more often than not, where there's falsification of the report. They still don't know how. Still can't justify the stop, reckless driving or what it was.
Right.
Don't know why he was tased, and definitely don't know why 5 people beat him to within an inch of his life, and then eventually he passed.
Right.
So I don't know.
He ran from the beating.
Right.
That's why he ran. He ran from the beating. Shout out to TJ, who's been rocking with us for like 3 years since the beginning. But she mentioned that that DL went in on Jason Whitlock really hard, but they have a very public feud.
Yeah.
DL doesn't hide the fact that he loathes this dude, and Jason Whitlock deserves some loathing. But here's what I want to throw at you guys, man. I was kind of looking for just something about it that hadn't really become so much mainstream. And my older brother has a tendency to, what I'll describe as, one of my older brothers, my older brother Byron, has a tendency to watch the enemy. Like he goes and spends time on YouTube watching videos and shows and stuff of people that are anti what he believes, And in my search, I came across, I'm maybe gonna spell the guy's name wrong, but he's a Fox contributor, and his name is Gutfeld.
Oh yeah, Greg Gutfeld.
Man, I stumbled across this dude's segment on the Tyree Nichols murder, and I was ill. I was ill because it made me realize that racism is something that is never going to go away. These guys, I think only one person on the panel really acknowledged the tragedy of it. And part of racism is telling you don't know what you're experiencing. You're not intelligent enough to process what it is you're experiencing, and then telling you what you're actually experiencing. And then the irony is that it's coming from someone who will never experience what you're experiencing. And so I watch these guys, man, refute every aspect of systemic racism that could have been possible in this, because all they needed, and this was my fear, Lionel, is that once they had black faces, then they could say, okay, it's not race. They're uneducated, because the reality is white supremacy is a programmed culture.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So you can be black and uphold the construct of white supremacy.
The pledge to the system. Well, back in 2003 or 2004, one of my friends was a police officer in South Florida here, and he told me, he said, Lionel, in training, they told us that if 4 black males in a vehicle, at least one of them have a warrant. And so, then I was driving a 95 Crown Vic. Me and my 2 friends were in the Crown Vic. I saw the car, and you know how they in the parking lot ahead of you, and the nose pulled out. And I said, guys, put on your seatbelt because we're going to get pulled over. And they said, what are you talking about? I said, bro, put on your seatbelt.
Right.
We put on our seatbelts. True enough, we got pulled over by a black woman police officer. So, she spoke to me. I said, hey, if I was a white old man driving this car, you wouldn't pull me over. So, I got angry. I started yelling.
I was going to say that probably wasn't the smartest thing.
It wasn't, but I was a teen talking trash, and she called for backup. A white cop came, white male came. He said, "Is there a problem?" I said, "Yes, sir. If I was a white old man driving this car, you guys wouldn't pull me over." And he said, "Have a nice day." Let me go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good story.
Yeah.
And that's the thing,
Yeah,
man.
that's a
Like
good story.
there is there's so many winding cultures that are part of this whole dynamic, because I remember, man, being in my early 20s, and the last thing I wanted to be was pulled over by a black policewoman,
Right.
because the times I had been pulled over by a black, Big Phil was cracking. Uh, the times I've been pulled over by a black policewoman were awful. They were ridiculously mean and nasty to me. One even at the court date saw me on the escalator prior to the court date and rolled her eyes at me. And then over time, you start to get exposed to different people. And so, my concern became more, white male cops than sisters. But there was a time, and I'll never forget that there was a time when I was like, man, give me a white dude any day, because the sisters were just dragging me. Not that I got stopped every weekend. I'm just saying. But
There's a pattern here.
you're right. That's why she was mean to me, Robert. Didn't I stop you last weekend? But yeah, man. So I watched the Gutfeld thing, man. And here was the thing: the people on the panel you can hear are dummies.
Well, they're appealing to a dumbed down audience. So
Yeah,
you got to think about the ratings and who watches this and everything. So it's like, and I used to do the same thing. I used to watch Fox a lot just to listen to a counterpoint of view that probably wasn't, always how I thought. But after a while, it got so ridiculous because it just became lies.
And I remember looking at it going, this guy would never engage a black intellectual, because they would drag him so bad. I could tell that he didn't have the capacity to understand the depth of systemic racism. But to see 5 people on a panel talking about the fact that the racism that black people claim they experience doesn't exist was sickening for me, man. I was just like, wow. And it may have a lot to do with the fact that my countenance is like low, because I saw that maybe an hour before we started, and I was like, wow, that's messed up, So, but we can move on, man, unless there's anything else you guys want to share about it. But we didn't get a chance to address it last week, and I hate Mel isn't here to to share what his thoughts might be on it. But I just wanted to make sure, man, that we acknowledged it and addressed it. And of course, our prayers go out to that family. That is I think everybody that has a son specifically, but if you have children at all of color, but if you have a son, a young son, man, it's hard for you to not worry, and then of course it always gets polarized. Now they're saying that one of the guys was connected to a lady that Tyree was connected to, and he even sent the lady a picture of him.
That's been debunked by the father. I
Yeah.
think.
Okay,
That's
good.
Yeah, which is
But
amazing.
the FedEx connection is true though.
Say that again?
He worked for FedEx.
But the FedEx connection.
Yeah, the FedEx connection is true, but the wife and ex and all that other stuff, and
that's been
pictures, that's fabricated. But that's when people do that, they want.
It's the danger of the internet and social media.
Yeah,
and that's what I don't like about it. Is that stuff can get put out there so fast and so flammable. And
man, I think they have templates set up for this type of stuff. It's really amazing to me. It really is. I used to be a police explorer, back in the day, and it was something that I really wanted to be a part of the police department. I was going to be in Chicago as well as Dallas when Dallas reached out and said that they had a lot of an opening. But that dream went away quickly because I did see a lot of racism and some other stuff that was taking place, and I just don't know that I could ever do that.
Yeah. I never wanted to be a police officer because I had enough friends that I had seen the way it changed them,
Mm-hmm.
and not necessarily bad ways, but just ways I didn't want to be changed. And then by the time I was open to it, I had aged out of, you know.
Yeah, two of my uncles were cops 20 plus years. One here in Chicago and one in the Memphis area. So they were career.
Yeah, I had
Um,
an
detective.
uncle that was a Chicago cop as
But
well.
if you don't want to, if you don't have the mentality or the desire to help people or save people, that's probably being a cop is not for you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's
I
just
have one of my daughters. She's in the Explore program.
Okay.
Here, and you won't believe the name of the city here in South Florida.
Oh boy.
Plantation.
I knew
it was Plantation.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna be Plantation too. Okay.
They need to change that shit.
I never liked that
elementary,
area.
middle, and high Plantation.
There are at least 4 apartment complexes, like we're talking almost $1 million homes in Atlanta, where they call it a plantation. They got plantation in the name. I'm like, I never, ever on God's green earth, not even if Jesus owned a bungalow there, would I move into something called a plantation.
Hey man,
Yes, sir.
let's shift gears, man, and talk about something that your actual host Robert shared with us.
I thought you said wannabe host.
If you host a show, you have to wear a hat like that.
Oh, that was in jest.
It's a rule now. The host has to wear a hat. I gotta get my hat game up.
TJ says it's hats versus the balls.
There you go.
2-on-2 basketball. That's racist. All black men don't play. And we still right there. Don't matter. Still right there.
I think me and Lionel will take y'all in the game basketball.
I don't know. I'm ready for it.
Now, since Lionel is a family man, I'm really interested in his take on this particular context. But Robert shared something earlier that said it doesn't take men long to know when a woman is wife material, and with further discernment whether she is the wife for him.
Did Robert say that?
No, Robert shared that.
What?
Okay.
I can't say that.
Oh my
You
God.
see the shock. You see the shock, Robert. Like Glenn was like, Robert said that? No.
I'm sorry, Rob.
No. He shared that post, Glenn.
You were not sorry.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention when I first said it, so I had to come back and verify. That's all. It just came out.
No, Amy. Mel is just out. He is while happily married, he is still a strong contributor to the show. His wife has not shut down his ability to
Yet.
He's
out this week though, because he's getting the toupee redone. The gray streak is getting dyed up.
He's getting the gap fixed, right? He's getting the gap fixed, I think. No. I like the gap. I think the gap, gaps are sexy. Not on him, but I've seen some ladies with gaps that I'm like, I hope she don't get that fixed, because that's kind of, And the gap can be your call. They say Michael Strahan wouldn't fix his gap because it was part of who he was. But anyway, let's circle back.
It's
It doesn't
something
take
freaky about you liking women with gaps, though, Sean. When you say it, I feel like there's something lewd about it. I don't know why.
Well, it probably is. I mean, I don't deny that lewd is at the top of my list.
You can either confirm or deny your lewdness.
Yeah. Well, I won't deny it. So do you think that's true? It doesn't take, and Lionel, I'm going to ask you first, because maybe there's a story in it behind your current situation, but it doesn't take men long to realize that a woman is wife material, and with a little discernment, he can tell whether or not she's his wife material. That's not good grammar, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes, I believe that. I honestly believe that. For me, I got married young, so I was 23.
Well, you look 25, so we already knew you got married young. You didn't have to tell us that one.
Oh man, that was
it's that melanin, Glenn. It's that melanin.
That was
smooth
almost
rich
18 years ago.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
man, well, she taking
Yeah.
good care of you, brother, because you don't look like you are much older than 25.
Yeah, some brothers 2 years into marriage and they got, you know.
They got ticks and you know.
Sorry, go ahead, Lionel.
Go ahead, Lionel. I'm sorry.
Being married to my wife today, I can honestly say, like, when I look at or have a conversation with some women, I can tell, and then some of them by their appearance. You know, there's just some women that it doesn't matter how hard they try. To me, they just won't be my wife material. You can put all the nails and lashes and all the weaves and all that, and it's just you gonna. You decide, well, not for me, but you a side chick.
The thoughts and opinion of
as far as you can go.
The thoughts and opinions of Lionel. Say your last name so I don't mess it up because I want to be accurate when I say this.
Hilaire.
Hilaire. Yes. The thoughts and opinions of Lionel Hilaire. That was hard, but it was real.
Yeah, you know, healthy. I'm saying this from like, you know, this is my opinion, but for guys who are men who are healthy, men who are not in the clubs every weekend and who, you know what I mean? Like we're just not gonna wife a woman like that.
I get that 100. But I think, you know, and I don't want to put us off topic. So you guys, Robert and Glenn, you know, keep your responses cocked. But I think that's one of the that's one of the disparities that the genders experience. You know, when men can say, hey, you know, the chick that's in the club with the lashes and the BBL and all that, that's not somebody I would want a wife. You get judged for it. But I'm sure women assess men by, you know, how dependable they are at the job and how their family relationships go. And, you know, so you can kind of tell, man, who has the makings of somebody that would be serious about a life mate. You know, even if you don't personalize it, you know, like for me, I know I would never marry a woman that has all of that man baggage. You know, men are all dogs and this, that. And, you know, I couldn't do it, man. I wouldn't want to spend my life with somebody that I was trying to dispel that, you know, that perception of men. That would be exhausting, man. I couldn't do it. Glenn, let me save Lionel. And what do you think, man? Does it take men very long to know, you know, that this is wifey material?
Man, do I hate to sound like Mel of all the people that
the blanket. I don't like to give blanket answers, but
but I don't like to give blanket. That's not a blanket answer. That is a very personal decision about who.
More of a quilt answer.
More of a throw.
More of a throw.
A little shawl. It's a little something you put around you to keep warm. But
that was good, Glenn. More of a shawl.
I'm on tonight. I'm on. I got a good night.
I think it's the white shirt thing that y'all got going on.
That is. We're more sharper and white. That's true. Yeah. No, I think it's a personal decision, though. I think, yes, some people can meet.
Well, we're not talking about the actual pulling the trigger as much as identifying the woman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, still, you see her and you get to know her and you can know pretty quickly. Yeah. And then you can be like me. And I'm like, okay, it looks good for that first year. But what's going to happen after that? You know,
have you ever known a woman that you knew in your social circle that got married and you was like, wow, somebody married her? Have you ever
I can neither confirm nor
I
deny.
am not commenting on that.
I am definitely not commenting on that, John Mason.
Well, Robert probably married all of them. So all the ones you were shocked about it. He's like, don't worry about it, girl. I got you. Come on. Come on over here. I'll give you at least 6 months. I give you 6 months. Come on over here. The ring ain't gonna be big, but come on up.
I'll get you later.
He owed you that one, Robert. That was a receipt.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun. Oh, you got to know, I'm shooting for the rest of the year. After last week, I'm shooting at everybody for the rest of the
You
year.
really took that personal, Sean.
I really did. I really did. I
I
said, y'all don't respect the effort I put into every week. I said, oh, okay, all right. I see how y'all gonna do. All right.
You have
But Robert,
one
So
bad
this is
show
the
out of
effort?
200.
what'd you say, Robert?
This is the effort.
Damn. You was calling that effort, huh? Okay.
Oh.
All right, we're gonna let you have that effort. If that's what you call that now.
I'm like Captain America. I can do this all day.
Okay,
We can do it every Thursday night if you want to.
Yeah.
I'll come. That's
Oh,
right.
my goodness.
I come cock ready to fight all every time if that's what you want.
Such violence.
What'd you say?
Such violence.
Yeah, I'm choosing violence. But talk to me. Is it easy? I mean, you would know. Is it easy?
Like Lionel, I married my kid's mom when I was 23 years old as well, and stayed married for probably about 16 years, of that. And so,
oh wow, your first marriage lasted 16 years. I didn't know that. That's good. No, I'm not making.
Yeah, that's not a shot. That's
actually good.
Yeah. I mean, so and we're of course still friends to this day, but I think that the purpose of what the post was really talking about is we have to take our time in getting to know people today, because as you mentioned, we don't really know who we're entertaining and stuff like that, because what we see on the outside. At least I'm a visual person. What I see on the outside is what attracted me, but what I'm really interested in is, what's on the inside. And I'll never forget, and then I'm done with this story. I'll go sit back down. Is that, I was telling a lady that, I like to, lead my household in, Bible discussions and all of that sort of stuff. And so the woman was like, I am never going to be a Proverbs 31 woman. And I said, huh.
What's Proverbs 31?
Virtuous woman.
Virtuous woman.
Oh, I knew that. I just make sure y'all read down.
Clearly, Glenn, clearly, yeah.
I knew that.
Reverend Murray.
That's Reverend Doctor.
He the pastor of Fluffy Pillows Missionary Baptist Church.
But so you've got to listen for those things. And I think as we begin to date, Lionel, being married young, when you got married, it's different. You grow together, but it's definitely
or apart.
Well, you could grow apart, but man, I gotta say, we can grow apart. It's almost like we hear the thing where we're in love today, and when we get ready to get divorced, we're no longer in love.
It's like, I can't believe I married you.
Right.
I think, and not to get sidetracked, but I think you just have to be honest about the reality that you're both growing and you don't know what direction you're growing in. And so you just kind of need to monitor it, and you kind of need to be intentional about it, because, you can't really control that. And to me, that's which is something else I have written down, and I don't want to screw up the flow, but to me, that's where love becomes a choice.
Love is always a choice.
Yeah, but people don't really realize that. So when
they throw it around so much.
Well, not so much that, but when you're 25 and Lionel is dating his college sweetheart, and they look like bookends, and he looks like the male version of her, and she looks like the female version of him, and she can finish his sentences, and he can finish her sentences, and it all makes sense. And then 10 years and 2 kids later, she's got some different priorities and he's got some different priorities, and they don't have the same dynamic that they had when people would look at them and go, oh, they so cute together, they so beautiful, or da 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 da. And that's when he and her have to choose to love each other, and maintain the commitment. That's just the way I see it. Absolutely, you can.
So I think it's a choice every day.
Yeah.
It's not just a choice, 6 years in or 2 years in. It's a choice to love that person.
But I think the choice is more difficult sometimes. It can be. You understand what I'm saying?
I
Like,
do.
yeah, that's all
I
I'm
do.
saying.
But
Yeah.
here's the thing that I've said. You probably heard me say this on the show before. Man, I don't necessarily know that I want the woman to love me, right? I want her to grow in love with me, but I really want her to like me. And the reason I say like is because, when we get on each other's nerves and all this sort of stuff, I just if like is at the core of it, we can't go no worse. We can't go no lower. But we can always have an opportunity to go up because love is action. It's all of this sort of stuff. You said, before, brother, where, having a woman when she gets sick and being there and taking her to the hospital, we don't think about all those things. But like and love will make you do that, for that person.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think what you're saying is more powerful than a lot of people understand.
Well, thank
And
you for
I
giving
like
me
you.
credit.
I do.
No,
Yeah.
but like I've always said, I need to be able to like you when you're not being lovable.
Yeah,
I
man.
need to
Well,
feel like
well,
you.
to
Like you might
me,
get on my nerves a
Yep.
lot.
but to me, and this might not land very well, but to me, like is a more powerful construct
Mm-hmm.
because love is the
Mm-hmm.
unconditional offering that we give. I got family members I've never met, but I love them because they're part of my family. They knew my parents. There's
Right.
a love dynamic that exists because of that. But I got some family members I love that I don't like very much. You know what I'm saying? So to me,
Me
the
too.
like, yeah, the like thing is so powerful. I guess love will make you committed, but like will make you enjoy the
Okay?
commitment.
We'll make you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll make you stay committed.
Yeah,
Ooh,
well, it'll make it
that
pleasurable for you.
sounds kind of.
It'll make it pleasurable for you.
Yeah.
I don't talk about it a lot. Matter of fact, I don't think I've ever mentioned it on the show. But I've been seeing somebody for a while, and you guys all know that, and we all spend time together and that kind of thing. And she has some challenges, some personal challenges, health wise, that I have to make sure that I'm present and supportive of, and that's easy to do because I like her.
Right.
Exactly.
He's
You know what I'm
likable.
saying? So where and she has had very transparent conversations with me about guys that couldn't handle that part of who she is or that part that comes with her, right? And those things were never a challenge for me because I like her. So it's like whatever comes with you, I'm down with because I like you. You know what I'm saying? So and it may not be the same level of sacrifice, but I'm sure there are things that she got to deal with that come with me. You
That's
I
know,
know that's why we
that's
support her.
true.
We support her strongly because Baby Sean. We like, girl,
Yep,
we like
man.
you
Let
a
me
lot.
tell you.
Don't you leave. Woo. We know you got some challenges, and we ain't talking about health. We talking about
Lord
Sean.
Jesus.
We talking about
We
that's your
praying
real
for you,
thing.
sister. We praying for you.
All day, every day, all day. We praying for you.
oh really, dog. Really, y'all didn't even recruited Amy on y'all
Yep.
side. Lord Jesus. Where were we though? We we would what and Robert, what I was gonna say to you was that's the beauty of this show to me and this dialogue, right? The way you experienced that post, I experienced it very differently.
Mhm, mhm,
I
mhm,
experienced it to say that men know a good thing when they see it.
mhm,
They might not pull the trigger. They might know in their hearts they're not ready to pull the trigger.
mhm,
But
mhm,
they see somebody, they know. I've walked away from women that I knew were great wives.
mhm.
I just didn't think they were the wife
Not
for
your
me,
wife, right?
Yeah,
right? To
yeah.
this
Not the
day,
same way.
still think they are top notch, cream of the crop, best you can do. But for me, the fit wasn't quite there. For me, I experienced that post as saying for women, what it takes to identify the man as marriable
Mhm,
is a lot different.
mhm.
Like there's not a culture of women having to prove to men they're marriable. But men have to prove themselves worthy. We got to prove ourselves worthy of the date.
Hey, you know what though? I think women need to start proving it too. I'm sorry.
I do. I agree, but yeah,
I'm the catch. You need to prove it to me. You want me, earn me. I'm like Olivia Pope said it to her men. If you want me, earn me. I'm sorry. Yes, I just quoted Olivia Pope.
You a wonderful thing, Glenn. You.
Well, I bring something to the table too. I'm like Phil Beckham said.
I am the table. That's
I am the table. Yeah. So I got a hell of a table.
That's right.
Setting.
I'm taking my table with me.
I have a hell of a table setting. It's
take that card table, Robert. Go on, take that card table.
Got a card table.
You can have that card table.
And the four folding
and a folding chair.
And look, and it ain't them, Glenn, it ain't that metal folding chair. It's the Walmart one for the picnics.
The plastic
come in the bag. Come in the bag. Catch them on sale for $5. You know.
Hey, but I'm bringing them.
But you got five of them in the trunk though. Don't you?
Robert's table is a tray table. He got a table for one. He gonna set up. What you go eat? Because I'm here. I got my table. I'm Lionel. I'm the table.
Do you remember the moment that you knew she was who you wanted to marry?
Yeah, it was kind of awkward. Is the moment she put her foot down.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
I want to hear this story.
Yeah.
Let me take a drink to that. Let's hear. Talk to us. There you go.
Well, she used to have this this guy. He was a minister. He used to come to her mom's salon with, and he used to always tell her, because she had two of my girls at the time, and he would always tell her, "Do not let a man waste you," and trying to let her know, like, hey, you are more valuable than that. So she came home one day and she said, "You're not gonna ruin me for my husband." I'm looking around. I'm like, where he at?
You married? You didn't tell me you were married.
What you talking about? And so, but I really did an assessment. I said, I can see myself with her for a very long time. And then I looked at my daughters and I'm like, ain't no other man raising my daughters neither. Yeah. So yeah, that was next month we'll make 18 years now.
Wow, congratulations, man. Congratulations.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I applaud men that pull that trigger. You know what I'm saying? That because I think a lot of times it can be so awkward for women because they get all the questions that the men should get. People want to pull them to the side and go, so when y'all get married?
Right, that's true.
And they like, why are you asking me? Like, I'm not going to propose to him.
Yeah,
so you need to be asking him.
Word will spread. If you just curse one out really good, word will spread. You just got to get people off your back sometimes.
Right. Don't marry him.
First of all,
he just cursed me out. Don't marry.
Yeah, or don't marry. Don't ask her no more about marriage. She'll curse you out, girl.
Yeah. But I think that part of this culture, man, that just talks and doesn't think. Like I don't think it's appropriate to ask a couple when they're gonna have a baby. I know it's a common question, but I've had too many friends that couldn't conceive that wanted to.
Yeah.
So I knew the pain that question caused. Mm-hmm. That you're so comfortable rattling off, not knowing the context or the backstory. And here it is, somebody that there's nothing they want to be able to do more than have a child, and they medically can't. And you're like, so when y'all gonna start a family? Mm-hmm. I just think those are spaces, man, that for me, I just don't ask those questions. I don't ask people when they get married. I don't ask people when they having children, because I know that there could be some stuff that I'm not privy to playing a part, and I don't want to make that journey any more painful, for them. So
island folks don't care.
I know. Yeah. I know. When people ask, like, you actually are gonna give them an answer, like, well,
yeah, island folks ask you straight up.
I'm gonna propose on April 1st about 7 p.m.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna tell your dumb ass. Why would I tell you? Sorry.
You don't need to know.
Right.
I'm triggered by that
Hey,
question.
look,
The woman is gonna be the first to know. Okay,
you gonna
so
put 2 stacks on this ring? You gonna do
yeah,
that?
really.
Right.
I'm gonna propose as soon as you put me that down payment on that diamond marquee cut.
But I'm sappy,
Right.
man. I am one of those guys, ironically, having never been married. But I'm sappy, man. I love the love stories. I love the proposals, man. I love
Oh, you hope it's
weddings.
romantic. You ain't that
Why is
sweet.
that funny, Robert?
No,
Now,
it's
see,
not
we
funny.
were
I'm just
friends.
thinking
We
about the
were friends.
Hallmark moments.
We finna
You
fall out again now.
I'm thinking about the Hallmark Channel. You know, it's
Oh.
probably, you know.
Sean probably watched those movies too, those love story movies. I bet
Yeah.
all Valentine, all February, he gonna be on Hallmark watching
Yeah.
movies.
I
You need to be watching Lifetime.
Right.
I do not, but among my favorite movies though are the Love Joneses and
See?
you know, those kind of movies. What's the one with the T.G.
There you
Jakes
go.
one? Not Easily Broken. Ooh, David, look,
I've never seen that.
man, you
Yeah,
need to
I've
watch
seen
it tonight. Not Easily Broken. I mean, it covers all the bases, baby. Even the bitter mama that's impacting the daughter and influencing her decisions. And you know who played her, right?
I'm not gonna
Jennifer
tell it.
Lewis.
Oh, everybody's mama.
Yeah, everybody's mom.
Everybody mean ass mama. She said, "Look out, look out."
Look at him.
But you know what's interesting, you know, because Lionel and I married when we were younger. But
Mhm.
now, you know, people ask me would I get married again, and I say I would, you know, even at 50 something. But we don't ask those questions of people today, do we? You know, those that are over 40, you know,
Oh
let's
yeah,
say
you do.
45.
Yeah, people do. People ask
45
me.
and older?
I mean, I don't get the question as much now that I'm 39ish, but I got sick of that question after a while. You don't understand how many years I've been asked that question.
Let me
Yeah.
ask you this, and this is a real question. This is a real question.
The others weren't.
Okay, all right, Robert.
Robert
Lionel,
is on. He put the
Lionel,
hat
you see,
on.
every time I try to make the piece, he opened the womb back up, and I gotta, you know.
Sorry, man. I don't want to trigger
I
you.
see.
Sorry, brother. Sorry.
Do you think that outside pressure that men experience can impact them making that decision? Do you think that they can feel so pressured and annoyed, and you know what I'm saying, that people are on the outside trying to tell him what he should do or what he should be doing or how long it should take him to do it, that he begins to rebut it simply because of that? Do you think that ever happens?
I'll let you guys answer. My answer's gonna be all jacked up. I already know what my answer's gonna be. I'm
Like
just
you resemble that remark?
I'm just gonna be jacked up. No, I don't let people influence me. That's the problem, though. I consider the source of who it's coming
But
from.
but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When
I
they
look
say
at it.
that, you're committed to not letting them influence you.
Right,
And
I'm committed to that. I'm going to listen to Lionel, who's done this for 23 years,
Yeah.
versus somebody.
he's done the after part for 23
Right.
years. That part is just the moment right there.
Right,
Where
but his
making the decision.
experience in it to say this is the type of partner you need. I'm going to listen to him. I'm going to listen to my dad, who's been married almost 40 years. I'm going to listen to people like that. It's kind of like, you know, people who join church and convert to Christ and been out there doing everything for like 49 years and the Just Found Jesus Yesterday Club, and they can tell you how to live your life. No, you can't do that. No, you can't. You've only been here a year. You only been in this a year. You can't tell me nothing. I'm sorry. I ain't listen. I'm not listening to you. I got plenty of good resources that I can go to for that. So no.
That are saying what I want them to say.
That's not it.
Right?
That is not it, Sean. That was sneaky.
Yeah, I just think I think it just depends on what that guy wants. Like if my friend says he chooses not to be married, then I'm gonna leave that alone. But if he says,
what about what she wants though, Lionel? Is it his responsibility to communicate that and make sure that she knows that that's not something he wants? Or
yeah, at the very beginning, you have to set your expectations and not just assume that the person wants what you want. I think people just subconsciously get in relationships and they think that this person wants the same thing that I want. And a lot of us males were raised to just go after one thing. And if you don't sit there and ask the questions in the beginning, then you can be very disappointed.
I think you'd be surprised at how often the conversation doesn't happen too, even at this stage. And I think it could be because there's enough good in it that the person doesn't want to risk losing the good that they have by making the person maybe feel pressured or whatever. But I have found with friends of mine that a lot of times the conversations aren't really had. They aren't, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just one of those things,
It's casually dating. That's
I don't think it's that. It's just, if it's good and it feels good and
right.
and I don't think any woman should ever pressure a man, because then she loses the experience of it feeling genuine from that end. So
provided that she finds value in the man.
Yeah, so so she might not want to address it because she doesn't want to ruin the experience for her. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to you don't want to feel like, okay, he's doing it because I keep mentioning it. You know what I'm saying? So,
right, but I've had women will put their foot down. And that's all that happened. They put their foot down. Nothing else happened.
That's it.
Mean nothing to me.
I've had women put their foot down as well.
Put your foot down, you put it down again, stomp to a beat. Whatever you're gonna do.
We doing a dance, right? We doing a stomp.
Yeah, whatever, start stepping, whatever you do. Don't matter.
But I think you do need to have these conversations of as you said, Lionel, what expectations you have. These are my expectations. I do not want to get married today. I make that very clear. I want a partnership, and this is what a partnership looks like to me. So if, all right, producers, but that's my thought.
We need Keisha Rose to take over the board.
Yeah, nobody's forced me to do it.
Out there.
Hey man, we got about a minute. Y'all have tickled me. Y'all have tickled me tonight. I just want you to know. Lionel, man, always good to see you, man, and hear from you, man, and give your family our love, and I hope she doesn't feel like we pulled you away from her for an hour, and if she was hoping for that, just tell her we'll have you on more, so she can get an hour away from your ass.
She would love it.
Hey, look, if she wants a break more frequently, have a call. We'll
she would love it, because by the time I get to that bed, she probably knocked out, and I'm like, dang.
You was like, I was gonna light my candles tonight. She already in the bed.
It's Thursday, baby. It's Thursday. You know what's up on
right?
Thursday.
You know what Thursday is. Don't be playing.
Hang around with us,
Lionel. It's Seinfeld, and then. Hey man, love y'all. Enjoyed y'all. I forgive y'all for treating me like you did last week.
No, you didn't.
And you're right.
I need one of those hats. Y'all.
You really do. You really do.
I do too. I do.
But hey, everybody that hung out with us, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And if you were new to the show, we thank you for stopping in. If you've been rocking with us, we appreciate you rocking with us for all the time you've been rocking with us. And we hope we'll see you next Thursday. Same bat place, same bat time, bat channel, whatever they say.
Yeah,
but until next Thursday.
Join us, Indie TV, where you will see the talk shows, movies, drama, action, and comedy. Be the first and see it first. Sign up now for free at Indie TV.